Hello, boys and girls. Welcome back for a new science lesson this week. We are learning about something that we experience every single day, and that is day and night. And we're going to talk a little bit about that today. And then on Friday, we're going to review our seasons, which I know all of you probably remember, but we're going to talk about them and hopefully do a fun, creative task on Friday that you can do with materials that you have at home. So before we start learning about our day and our night and how it affects us every single day, I want you to tell me, where do we live? Earth. If you said Tennessee, you are right, but we live on the planet Earth, and that's what we're going to talk about this week, how the Earth and the sun work together to give us day, night, and all four of our seasons that we experience every single year. And it's such a beautiful day outside today, boys and girls, that I decided to bring our science lesson outside. So if you hear some dogs barking or some cars driving by or Miss Owen's hair looks crazy, bear with me. We're talking about some cool stuff in science this week. So before we get started, we're going to watch a short video about the Earth on our new platform that Shelby County has collaborated with, and it is called Discovery Ed, and you can actually go to it via your Clever account. So if you log into your Clever account, you can go on to Discovery Ed and search all kinds of fun videos that you can watch, games, interactive programs that you can play as well. So if you get a chance to do that, boys and girls, take a look at it. But right now I'm going to share my screen with you, and we are going to watch a short video where we're going to learn about the rotation of the Earth. And I'm going to ask you what rotation means, so make sure you're paying attention, okay? So our first video is called Rotation of Earth.
Are you sitting still? It may seem like it, but you are actually moving in at least 3 different directions. Because planet Earth is always in motion, and you are along for the ride. Let's see where it takes you. Earth constantly spins or rotates like a top. Earth rotates around an imaginary line through its center called an axis that goes from the North Pole to the South Pole. One rotation takes 24 hours. We call this a day, but it includes a night too. Imagine we are here. When our part of Earth faces the sun, we have daylight and everything is bright. Darkness falls when our part of the Earth turns away from the sun. Earth's spin then brings a morning sunrise. And 24 hours, or 1 day later, we are right back where we started, facing the sun.
Great job, boys and girls. So that was just a quick video that I wanted to share with you about our Earth's rotation, and we're going to jump into our book so we can talk about that. But before we do that, I want to ask you, at the beginning of the video, it asked you, do you feel like you're spinning around all the time? No, we are not spinning around like we're on a crazy roller coaster. We are on the ground. But did you know that the Earth is actually moving all the time? It's very, very cool. The Earth rotates, or it spins on its axis all the time. It never stops moving. And that is what's so cool about all of our planets in the solar system. So we are going to go to our book and we're going to review, and then we're going to do an activity where you can see how the Earth is if you have some Play-Doh at your house. So I'm going to share my screen with our science textbook, and we're going to read that quickly together. So, what causes day and night? Earth spins every moment of the day and night. You cannot feel it, but it is happening right now. The spinning of Earth is called rotation. Earth's rotation causes day and night. As Earth spins, one side of the Earth faces the sun. This side of the Earth has the day. At the same time, the other side of the earth faces away from the sun. This side of the earth has night. So, boys and girls, if you are on this side of the earth, then you are facing the sun. It is daytime. You have the sun shining. It is bright. You're playing outside. It is daytime. But if you are on this side of the earth, look how dark it is. There is no sun. We are away from the earth. So remember, the earth is rotating. It is always spinning. And if your side of the earth is near the sun, it is day. And if it's away from the sun, then it is nighttime. Earth keeps spinning. Day turns into night for one side of the earth. Night turns into day for the other side of the earth. The pattern repeats again and again. So, boys and girls, every single place in the earth, no matter where you live, has a nighttime and a daytime. Now, there are some places that have longer days or longer nights, but every single place on the earth has day and night, and that is because the sun is rotating and it is spinning on its axis and it is getting light from the sun. So the earth rotates around an imaginary line called an axis. The axis goes through the center of the earth from the north to the south. Every 24 hours, earth makes one full turn around its axis. So, boys and girls, there's an important word that we learned. We learned rotate. So, rotate means to spin. Like if you take a basketball and you spin it on top of your finger, that is a rotation. And the earth does that too. And do you remember what that imaginary line is from the north to the south? What is that word called? Starts with an A. Axis. It rotates on the axis. And to give you a better picture about what it looks like, I brought out my Play-Doh and we're going to make a small model of the earth. Remember, a model is just a small representation of something bigger. So I brought some Play-Doh, but I only had 3 colors. So I had to listen to Miss Shirley's video to work on my color mixing to know that blue and yellow make green, because we know most of the earth is water and land. So if you have some Play-Doh, I want you to grab it. If you do have Play-Doh, you need yellow, green, and blue. So if you have some Play-Doh and you want to make a model of the earth, pause this video and go get your materials. And while we wait for you, I'm going to grab my things and I'm going to show you how I'm going to make the model of my earth. I'm going to move my book out of the way and I'm going to make a model of my earth. So I already have my sun, boys and girls. I just rolled a big ball of yellow Play-Doh. It's kind of hard to see because it's so bright outside, but I have a yellow ball of Play-Doh that's going to represent my sun. That's the model of the sun. Now, I took a smaller blue ball to represent my earth. And what do you think the blue represents? Water. Remember, water is made up, the earth is made up of water and land. So we have blue water to represent the sun. Now, why do you think that my 2 Play-Doh balls are different sizes? Why do you think Miss Owen did that? Because the earth is so much smaller than the sun. The sun is a huge star and the earth is a relatively small planet. So I chose to make this so it would be more of an accurate representation of what our earth looks like. So we also know that the earth has water and the earth also has land. So what I did was I mixed, oh, we're rolling away and Miss Owen's on a hill today. So I have my green Play-Doh and my blue Play-Doh. And what I'm going to do is pick off some little pieces and I'm just going to push them onto my water, my earth model, and we're just going to pretend that this is our earth. So I'm going to have little pieces of land all over my earth inside the water. So here's my earth model. We have blue and we have green on there, and we have our model of the sun. And our video talked about the axis. So the axis is splitting the earth right in half down the middle from the top to the bottom, or your north and your south. Remember those cardinal directions that you've learned in social studies, like on your compass rose? So we have north at the top and south at the bottom. So what Miss Owen grabbed, I found one in my kitchen. I grabbed a toothpick. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick my toothpick all the way through my earth. And I thought that would be a pretty cool way to show our axis because it splits from the top to the bottom, my north and my south. So I have my sun and my earth. Okay, boys and girls. So if you want to make a model of the earth, you can do that as well. So who remembers from the video how long it said that the earth rotates or spins? So remember, it takes a certain amount of time for the earth to spin on its axis. And its axis is tilted a little bit to the side. So how long does it take for the earth to spin one time? It takes one day. It only takes 24 hours for the earth to rotate around the sun one time. So when you have the sun, just like our picture in the book, if you live right here, then it is daytime. And as you spin and spin and spin, oh look, we're at nighttime now. So now it is night and it will be night. So we have night and day because our earth rotates or spins on its axis. Very good, boys and girls. All right, I'm going to put my book back so we can keep reading. Why does the sun seem to move in the sky? As Earth rotates, the sun seems to move across the sky. The sun does not really move, however. The sun's position is where it appears in the sky as Earth moves. The moon also seems to move across the sky each day because of Earth's rotation. The sun and the moon seem to rise in the east, move across the sky, and set in the west. So, boys and girls, let me ask you a question. And Miss Owen has done this before too. But if you were riding in the car, if you're with your mom and your dad and you're riding in the back seat of the car, if you look out the window and you watch the sun in the daytime or you watch the moon in the nighttime, does it ever look like the moon or the sun is following you or racing you in the car? I always thought that when I was a little kid, but actually the sun and the moon aren't moving. The earth is the one that is moving around the sun. And I think that's pretty cool. It's almost like the earth and the sky are tricking us a little bit because it looks like it's moving, but it's really not. So you can see the sun make different shadows during the day. As the earth rotates, shadows on the ground change. Longer shadows mean the sun is lower in the sky, and short shadows mean the sun is higher in the sky. So if you've ever been outside and you've seen your shadow, boys and girls, that is because the sun is going against your body and it's in different positions as the day goes on. So remember, we talked about seasons. I know that you know our 4 seasons, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that on Friday. But we're going to dive in on this page, and then we're going to do a quick activity of something that you can do at home. So, what causes the seasons? Earth spins on its axis. Remember, our axis is that imaginary line that we pretended with our toothpick. So the Earth is spinning on its axis, but it also moves on a huge path around the sun. The path that the Earth takes around the sun is called its orbit. That's an important word, boys and girls. Can you say that? Orbit. Yes, so the orbit is the path. That is where it goes. This big circle right here is the Earth's orbit. That's where it goes around the sun. So, do you remember how long it takes for the Earth to spin? One day. So, the Earth is spinning as it's going around this orbit. And even though it's spinning and it only takes one day to rotate, this orbit takes a really long time to go all the way around the sun. Earth takes about 365 days or 1 year to go all the way around the sun. So if you think 1 year is every time you have a birthday. So if you think about that, the Earth, it took them the whole year to go all the way around the sun and follow its orbit path. So that's pretty crazy that it takes that long for the Earth to go around the sun. But that's also really, really cool. It's constantly working to travel so that we change from night to day and that we change seasons and the different months of the year. So remember, the Earth's axis is tilted. Remember, it's not straight up and down. It's kind of at a tilt. And it always tilts in the same direction. So it doesn't matter where it is on the path. The axis is always in the same direction. It doesn't flip like this. It just stays in the same direction. So as the Earth moves around the sun, the tilt of the Earth causes the seasons. So because our Earth is tilted a little bit, that's why we have seasons. We're always going to have night and day, but we have seasons because of the tilt of our axis. As Earth moves around the sun, one part of the Earth tilts towards the sun. Remember, towards means you're going towards it, you're getting closer. So part of the Earth tilts towards the sun, and that's when the weather feels a little bit warmer or even hot. So if you think about it, the Earth, this part is heading towards the sun. So right now, it's one of the warmer seasons, like summertime, when you can get to go to the beach or the pool because it's super, super hot outside. So as the Earth continues to move, it's going to get further away, and now it's tilted away from the sun. Remember, away means you're going away. You're not getting closer. You're tilting away from the sun. And when you're tilted away from the sun, it's going to be a lot colder. So it's going to be winter when it's cold outside. So, boys and girls, we are going to draw a picture of that on my dry erase board so we can talk about the Earth's path. So I have my little dry erase board. Hopefully you can see it. I know it's a little bit bright outside, but I'm going to try my best. So remember, how long does it take for the Earth to spin? 1 day. Very good. And what was that path called? What was the path called around the sun? I'm going to draw my sun. I don't have a yellow marker. I'm so sad I don't have that, but we're going to just pretend that that's yellow. There's our sun. And remember, there's a path that goes around the sun. And it takes the Earth a really long time to get there. Do you remember how long? 1 year. Think about your birthday, 365 days or 1 year. Okay, so I'm going to rotate my Earth. He might start over here in winter. Takes 1 day to spin, but he is always spinning in the same direction. He's following his orbit's path, and he is going around the sun. Here's summer. Then we're going to fall or autumn. And then we're back to winter. So that took 1 whole year for the Earth to go around the sun. Another way that you could show this, boys and girls, is you could show it on, if you have a paper plate that has a lip or a ridge on it, how it comes up a little bit. I didn't have a paper plate, so I just used a lid from one of my containers. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a marker, and you can also show the way it rotates on his path that way too. So I'm going to draw my yellow sun. Remember, the sun's in the middle of our orbit. And I'm going to take my axis out of my Earth just so it'll roll a little bit better. But if you see, if you just kind of roll your Earth, he's following his orbit. He's going around the sun. And every time he goes to a new place, a new corner, it is a new season. And we'll talk a little bit about that on Friday. But our Earth is rotating around the sun. So he's spinning as he rolls. He's using his 24-hour or 1 day rotation, but it's also taking him a whole year to go around the sun. So if you want to try that at home, boys and girls, you can. All right, after we reviewed that, I want to see if you can tell me, if you can look at a picture and tell me whether or not something is day or night. So I want to see if you can guess, boys and girls. So can you guess day or night? Let's see if you can get it. Ready? Is that day or night? It's daytime, and we know that because the sun is shining. People are out walking around. You can see everything nice and clear. That is the daytime. Great job, boys and girls. High five if you got that correct. And if it's daytime, that means that the Earth is facing the sun. We are at the part of the Earth that is facing the sun. All right, you ready for the next one? Is that day or night? Day or night? Look at the sky. Use your brain. Think about it. Nighttime. Very good, boys and girls. I know that it's nighttime because the sky is dark. It looks like people have their house lights or maybe some candles on or their lamps so they can see. Remember, we can't see very well at night. So that tells me that it's nighttime. So we are away from the sun during our rotation. All right, what about this one? Nighttime. Very good, boys and girls. I can see that it's night. It's dark. The sun is not out. The driver is using his headlight so he can see how to drive. Very good. What about this one? Day or night? Day. Very good. The clouds are out. You can see the shining sun at the top. There's trees. People are ready to go outside and play soccer or go swimming or go take a trip somewhere. So that is daytime. All right, boys and girls, here's our last one, and I made it a little bit tricky. So tell me what you think, day or night? Let's see. Let's think about it. I see the clouds and the sun is there, but the other half, the bottom half of the picture, looks a little bit dark to me. Is that day or night? Hmm. It's kind of like both, boys and girls. That is called a sunset. So a sunset or a sunrise, both of them happen in the morning and at night. The sunset happens at night and the sunrise happens in the morning. Remember in our video when it said, and in our book where it said the sun and the moon seem to rise in the east and set in the west? Remember? So every morning our sun almost kind of comes out from hiding and it goes up into the air and it's really bright daytime. And as it goes down toward the bottom, it starts to become night again. So boys and girls, that was a little tricky one. If you got it right, then you are awesome. So what I would like you to do when you are at home, I want you to think about what things look like when they're different in the daytime and the nighttime. Think about that and think about how our weather changes with our seasons, because on Friday we're going to do a really quick review and a really, really short lesson on our 4 seasons, because I'm sure you already remember them. But before we go, let's review our 4 seasons. What are they? Winter, spring, fall, and summer. So those are our 4, or summer and fall. So if you're going in order, winter, spring, summer, and fall. So those are our 4 seasons that we're going to talk about on Friday. And while you're waiting for the next video, boys and girls, think about, brainstorm what kind of clothes you wear in the summertime and winter and spring and fall. What kind of clothes do you wear? What does the weather feel like? What do the trees and the plants look like outside? What are some activities that you like to do during those different seasons? Right now we are in spring, so you can tell that it's bright and sunny, it's warm, it's not too hot. The plants are growing, it's nice and green because it was nice enough for Miss Owen to come out and do our lesson today. So before you leave, if you want to do your Play-Doh activity and show your parents, show your friends how the earth rotates on its axis and how it rotates on its path, its orbit, that would be an awesome thing to do. And when we come back on Friday, we're going to have a cool little art craft that you can do that represents the 4 seasons. So keep working, boys and girls. Make sure you get on Clever. Check out Discovery Ed. That's our new platform with Shelby County. Log in through your Clever. And I will see you on Friday for our next science video. Bye, everybody.